What is going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. We are joined by CrossFit media legend Armen Hammer. We discuss all things CrossFit, where the future of the sport is going, the Eric Rosa takeover, athletes and everything else. So enjoy.
Hello, there it is.
How are we doing?
Good. I'm so sorry, Matt. I have 4 microphones all plugged in on my desk, and it gets a little bit crazy out here.
I feel like since I started dabbling into the YouTube and like content world, I just realized how much like crap you have, like batteries and microphones and wires and cables and lights and headphones, all sorts of stuff. So
Yeah, this that you see is the cleanest, most organized part of this entire room. Everything else is just a mess of stacks of either boxes or books or cameras, or just, it's insanity. It's absolutely
that
crazy.
Studio A, is that
Yeah,
the
this
new
is
studio?
this is the main one. This is the converted bedroom in our house that my wife was kind enough to allow me to take over.
Yeah. I've designated this is my Studio A. I use the gym, the garage gym, as my studio. So the grand tour of just
That's a great setup.
it's pretty good. Like one stipulation I had when we moved into the new place, I was like, one thing is that I want a garage door that is from the house into the gym, into the garage rather.
Yeah.
The gym, and it needed to be a gym. That was it. Like the garage is a gym, and we'll have like all the garage stuff outside and like units and stuff like that. So it's pretty handy given the fact that like in Scotland the gyms are still not open, which is pretty annoying. So it's been pretty handy having that.
I feel you. Yeah, we have the same thing. I was gonna say we have the same thing. Our garage is our gym. It's not quite as clean and organized as yours is, but it does the trick.
It does the job. It does the job. Yeah. As long as you can lift weights in there, that's all that really matters.
Exactly.
That's the important part. I'm just a bit OCD with stuff, so I was going to say there was a guy that's just he's actually from Edinburgh, so literally like 20 minutes down the road, and his name, I don't know if you heard this already, it might be worth getting in touch with him. His name is Fergus Crawley, and he's just done a 4-minute 58 mile, 501 pound back squat, and a marathon.
In the same day?
In the same day.
That's amazing. I follow him on YouTube. I subscribed to his YouTube channel because I saw him post about, I'm gonna try this out. My brother's gonna do the 500-pound deadlift and the 5-minute mile.
Yeah.
And I saw him post saying he saw that Adam had done the same thing. But I hadn't seen that he did that and a marathon in the same day. I missed that part. I got to check that out. That's super impressive. That is super. I'm definitely, thank you for turning me on to that. I'll reach out to him for sure.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be a good one to get a hold of, because I think we're probably going to see more and more of this stuff come out of the woodwork now. I think there's probably quite a few people that have the ability to do it, or maybe not too far away from doing it, and they're probably going to be chasing that now. So
I'm curious to see how it goes. I mean, that to me is such a feat of fitness. It would be really impressive if we saw a ton of people finish that off.
I think it's just crazy how far in the opposite direction it is. Like running that fast and lifting that heavy, it blows my mind that someone can actually do that. Just one of them, let alone them both. In the same.
Right. Either one of those is so impressive on its own.
I know. Like, I think about where I could get my squat to, and I mean, I'm not a massive, I'm not a well-built guy or anything like that, and I do prefer metcons and conditioning stuff. That's what I favor. But to hit 227 kilogram back squat is literally more than 100 kilograms of my PB. So I'm just like,
it's big. That's a big squat, especially if, Adam, and I'm sure Fergus as well. I saw a couple videos of him training. Burying a squat that heavy is a whole different world than just barely going to parallel or going above parallel. Actually squatting to depth with 500 pounds that's gnarly. That's big. That's really big.
it's powerlifting, isn't it? I would say it's more powerlifting.
Yeah. I've been trying to think of different versions of this, and the only one that I've come up with that I really, really want to see, which I think might actually be a little bit easier, is a 300-pound snatch and a 3-hour marathon. I think there might have already been a couple of CrossFitters that could pull that off, but it's that, I think that would be an equivalent level of, athleticism or fitness in disparate.
I remember a few years ago, I was on what they call a UKSCA, which is the kind of Federation for Olympic Weightlifting in the UK. Like, that's the governing body. I don't know if there's an equivalent in the US. But I did all of the courses, and the guy that was running it, he was just so anti-CrossFit, like just totally anti-CrossFit, like just didn't like it, disstudied it, And when I spent my days as a PT, I used to, in a commercial environment, like, kind of like a fitness first style gym, like Virgin Active. And I used to get slated for loving CrossFit, like the injuries and this and that and the other. And I'm like, I just don't understand why people are not on board with it. Maybe in the early years of CrossFit, there might have been a lot of that stuff, but I think it's matured so much over the years that recovery, accessory work, you've seen people like Tia-Clare Toomey doing the Olympics, and it's just, I think it just creates amazing athletes.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a big part of it is, CrossFit, when it first burst onto the scene, was very, very anti-establishment. Let's put it that way. Greg Glassman was quoted in the New York Times multiple times saying, yeah, of course CrossFit can kill you. That's when, if you're not okay with that, then we don't want you to try it. And that type of aggressive angle, or that type of contrarianism, it only gets you so far. When you're no longer the underdog and you have a target on your back, it becomes really challenging to get people onto your side and to get people to join the team, when that has been the through line of how you communicate to the outside world.
I think so. I think what I've noticed as well, and maybe you've noticed it, but over the years, maybe I've been following CrossFit since like 2010 and been doing it for so many years. And what I've noticed maybe in the last 4 or 5 years is like the average gym goer, the bodybuilder, physique type person start to dip the toe in the CrossFit world. And there's been a bit of a cultural shift. Like, a lot more people are now getting involved in CrossFit than there was ever before. And it's becoming almost quite a trendy thing to do, isn't it? More than anything nowadays than it was before. People
Absolutely.
Like, it's not CrossFit. I don't want to do CrossFit. I'll just stick to my 5-day split, and do that. Whereas now it's more widely accepted.
Absolutely. I think the general, there's been pieces of what CrossFit's methodology entails that has made it into 100% of the general population's fitness practices. If it wasn't for CrossFit showing that you can have a group of people working out in a relatively intense fashion with, single coach, the only other group fitness that was existent beforehand were either aerobics classes or yoga, and neither of them had a concept or a methodology to rely on to sort of be built upon that foundation. They were all just sort of, yeah, the gym I go to runs Les Mills classes, or we sometimes use dumbbells in my spin classes. There wasn't such a thing as Orange Theory, or down the street from me there's gyms that do that. The entire thing's basically Tabata. It's ball slams and kettlebell swings and punching the punching bag and jumping, and it's Tabata work, and it's just an hour long or 40 minutes of Tabata work. And yeah, that would not have ever made it into the common experience that most people have with fitness. And I think even the people who are really adamantly either unaware of CrossFit or specifically against CrossFit would be surprised to hear the different ways that interval work. And I don't mean just, 2 minutes on, 1 minute off, or that sort of interval work that you've seen in track and field athletes, but interval work with mixed modal stuff. I'm going to do, push-ups, and I'm going to do kettlebell swings, and I'm going to do as many as I can in 2 minutes, and I'm going to rest for a minute and do it again as my cardio. Or, the EMOM type, movements or workouts that have shown up in everyday people's training. I think a lot of people would be surprised as to how much influence CrossFit's growth has had on their regular practice.
And this was kind of the main theme that I was keen to chat to you about, because everything that has happened, it's happened, and there's been a big shift, and we're in a different place now. I mean, personally, I'm quite happy to see, the changes that have, well, the new people coming like Eric Rosa. I think that's a good thing, right?
Well, thanks for watching part 1, guys. Part 2 is on the next video. If you're not already, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with the channel and all of the new videos. We'll be getting fresh content out to you guys every single week. So stay up to date, hit that subscribe button, and enjoy part 2.